Salem's Lot is a 2024 supernatural horror film written and directed by Gary Dauberman, who you may know wrote some of the Conjuring universe movies and It Chapter 2, and also directed Annabelle Comes Home. Now, this is the first feature film adaptation of the Stephen King novel of the same name, and unlike the miniseries versions we got in 1979, which we all know and love and really popular, and the 2004 version, this version runs for 113 minutes long and premiered October 3rd, 2024 on the streaming service Max. Now, a quick behind the kind of story of the aspect of the release for this. The film was shot in 2021, was announced in 2019, with additional photography in 2022. It had an original release date of September 9th, 2022, but then was pushed back to April 21st, 2023, and then taken off the release slate entirely. We didn't know when it was coming out. We heard the murmurs and the rumors of when it was, and all of a sudden, surprisingly, Max decided to release a trailer during the summer of 2024 stating that this film is finally getting released after 2 years, maybe 3 if you add production. This tells the story of Ben Mears, who returns to his childhood home of Jerusalem Lot in search of inspiration after a tragic event happened in his life, only to discover that his home now is preyed upon by bloodthirsty vampires, leading him to band together with a group to fight it off. And the aspect of this is that the Ben Mears character, I will say, is not really focused or we know and love from the novel or the miniseries, but the way Lewis Pullman plays it. Yes, Lewis Pullman is Bill Pullman's son. He is really good. He gives the character dynamic. He captures the essence of what the character is in the novel and the book. There are a lot of differences from the novel to the film because you can only fit so much in an 113-minute movie. And with that, you have the aspect of, okay, we know Kurt Barlow, we know Richard Straker. How's that going to play into it? Well, the aspect is it's also captured very well in the form of a film version. We have the essence of always going back to the miniseries version. We don't think about the 2004 version because nobody talks about that. Maybe very rarely. But with the 1979 version, that was the big essence of creepy, eerie, great cinematography, great writing, and horror scares for the time of 1979 was the end of the 70s, beginning of the 80s. What can horror give us? And it gave us the Salem's Lot miniseries. Now, with this, eerie is totally imaginable to the point where the scenes are shot so well. The aspect of the background, the foreground, the midground. When someone turns and looks back, there's something there. The morgue scene is probably the most unsettling scene I have seen in a Stephen King adaptation in a very long time. There are scenes where it's really quiet, and all of a sudden, tension builds up. You feel that tension, and then it goes away, but then something happens. The aspect of the vampires and how they look, and the character of Ben Mears being scared. Lewis Pullman really captures the scare factor of what his character should be scared of and why he's scared. There are, like I said, differences between what the novel gives you on the character basis and what the film gives you. Yes, you're not going to have a sure adaptation of novel to movie because you never do, which is why everyone says the book is always better. Yes, I agree. But with this, it changed things where it fit the mold of today. And the vampire aspect is still there. They tried using practical effects. You can see the scene where the boy comes to the window knocking. It's there. The figure sitting in the chair. It's there, slightly. There are so many homages to the 1979 version, more than a 2004 version, where it's really good. Now, the music, the score really adds to it, and seeing your favorite characters from the novel in this is really good. I was surprised that certain characters were done so well, and it was like, all right, what are we going to get into? What's happening next? It is a scary film. It's scary psychologically, and it's like, whoa, what is going on? They do capture everything so purely that there are some scenes it's like, okay, you hear something in the background, like if a traffic light is flashing in the background, you hear that traffic light, but from the distance of where the person is in the film. And then it's like, okay, what happens? And then you don't hear that anymore. You hear some other screams, sounds, noises. It's like, whoa, the tension builds, the tension rises. Richard Straker is really, really well done in this. The character has been portrayed many, many times over the course of the miniseries and now the film adaptation. James Mason, the prolific actor, played Richard Straker in the 1979 version, and Donald Sutherland played him in the 2004 version. And in this one, if I'm not mistaken, Philip Asbeck plays Richard Straker, and Kurt Barlow is played by Alexander Ward. Now, the character of Kurt Barlow is really, really interesting because also a few slated well-known actors have played him. Reggie Nalder played him in the 1979 version. Rutger Hauer played him in the 2004 version. And it's just that prolific Nosferatu look and feel of what the vampire is. And we all know the vampires for their glowing eyes. I did like the look of Kurt Barlow. I did like the practical effect it took. But some kind of it, you could see the CGI put into it, which kind of brought me out of it just a little bit. There are great fight scenes. There are great, moments of emotion and drama, which really capture the characters. And Lewis Pullman as Ben Mears, and I keep saying it, is what really, really made this film good. And the scare factor. And it's really hard to always do a Stephen King novel into a movie. There have been some fantastic films that have been adapted and from his novels, and there are some been very, very bad films adapted from his novels. But with this, the first feature film adaptation, after what I want to say so many years, they nailed it. Gary Dauberman really, really nailed it. I'm curious to see what else he directs, because as a writer, he's very, very good. As a director, he's even better. I mean, yes, he did Annabelle Comes Home, and then now Salem's Lot, but then what's next? He also has a film coming out called Until Dawn, which is based on the 2015 video game of the same name, which he wrote the screenplay for, but it's directed by David F. Sandberg, who you may know for Lights Out. This was fun. This was great. Just in time for the Halloween 2024 season. For me, Salem's Lot, the first feature film adaptation of the Stephen King novel of the same name, gets 5 out of 5 stars from me. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about Salem's Lot. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What did you think about the aspect of the differences between the novel and this feature film adaptation? Did you like the 1979 version, the 2004 version, or do you like this version? But be warned that those two before were miniseries and this is a film. Do you think everything was good? Did they capture the scares right? Did you like how Kurt Barlow looked? Do you think that he was a formidable villain for Ben Mears? Do you like Lewis Pullman as an actor? And do you want to see more things from him? And do you think that more Stephen King novels should be adapted? And what is your favorite Gary Dauberman film that he has written? And do you like Annabelle Comes Home? Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked, and also let me know what rating you would give Salem's Lot. I'm Mr. Filmstock. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next review video.